I will now read Proclamation 1243. Recognizing August 29th, 2025 as KUVO 89.3 FM Day. Whereas public radio station KUVO 89.3 FM began broadcasting on August 29th, 1985, and in 2025 proudly celebrates 40 years on the air. And whereas for 4 decades, KUVO has filled the airwaves with the full spectrum of jazz and has taken listeners on a musical journey through their diverse cultures, featuring blues, gospel, soul, cubana, ranchera, salsa, rock en español, indigenous music, and more. And whereas KUVO has nurtured the next generation of musicians by inviting student bands into its studios through its high school collegiate series, giving them a platform to share their talents and connect with listeners, while also champion local and national recording artists and supporting the music venues and festivals that enhance our community. And whereas KUVO's remarkable growth has been made possible by the support of thousands of members, volunteers, underwriters, and foundations, enabling the station to evolve, foster the DROP public radio station, and merge with Rocky Mountain PBS to become a proud part of Rocky Mountain Public Media, where everyone is seen and heard. And whereas KUVO has earned both local and national recognition, including major market station honors from Jazz Week magazine, being named Best Jazz Station in the World by the United Kingdom's The Telegraph, and introduction into the Colorado Music Hall of Fame. Now, therefore, it be proclaimed by the Denver City Council, Section 1, that Denver City Council formally recognizes August 29th, 2025 as KUVO 89.3 FM Day. Section 2, that the clerk and recorder of the City and County of Denver shall affix the seal of the City and County of Denver to this proclamation, and that a proclamation be transmitted to KUVO. I move that Proclamation 1243 be adopted. It has been moved and seconded. Just want to say it's such a proud honor to be introducing this proclamation this evening. I've been listening to KUVO most of my life. I listen to Canción Mexicana. My kids know that when I'm listening to Canción Mexicana, one of 2 things are happening. Either I'm cleaning the house or I'm cooking. So if I'm cleaning the house, they'll stay away because they don't want to participate and help clean the house. If I'm cooking, they'll ask, what am I cooking? And it's usually enchiladas or beans or something. And another thing that I love is I've been able to, I have come from a big Latino family all throughout Colorado, and I've always been able to give shout out to my family on KUVO. So I've wished my cousins happy birthday from all over. I've wished my mom a happy birthday. We're using it for public service announcements for some of the work that's happening in my council office. And with a lot of what's happening at the federal level, we really need to support our small local stations. It's where we have local artists, it's where we hear information, it's where I get a pulse of what's happening in Denver. So thank you, Flo, for asking me to be able to sponsor this evening. I'm proud to have you in constituent in District 1. I'm proud to be sponsor of this, and this came on the air. I'm only 6 years older, so literally when I say most of my life I've been listening to it, I literally have been listening to it most of my life. So thank you so much. Councilwoman Alvidrez.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you for bringing this beautiful proclamation. I can relate. KUVO was what we listened to, Canción Mexicana. Sunday mornings meant cleaning. There was no other stuff. It was cleaning, and that was it. But it made cleaning fun and brought us together as a family. And Flo, I call her my tocaya, even though her name's not exactly Flor, but we're like this. And I remember also growing up, that was like one of the few things I can remember my dad making time to do calls to fundraise for KUVO, because it meant so much to him. Back in the day, there wasn't other Spanish. It was just, that was the only time that you could listen to Spanish music. And as a Mexican immigrant, that was so important. And for me, it was important for staying close to my roots, but also learning about the Chicano history here, because they would talk about this artist is from Southern Colorado or New Mexico, and they have roots here. And it was a reminder that we belong here for a long, long time. So thank you all, everyone at KUVO, for all the great, amazing work you do and the music you bring for our community. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Council Pro Tem Romero Campbell.
Thank you, Council President. I think very similar. Grew up listening to Canción Mexicana. I think it definitely is cleaning music, and it's also cooking, but it's also dancing music. And it just something that I've grown up on, something that I've raised my kids on. The shout outs, so true, and trying to get through on the phone numbers and so forth, and making sure that those anniversaries and birthdays are always celebrated. But one of the things that really, I think, is the connection to home, and I hear now, whenever you talk about, you can stream it, you can listen to it anywhere across the world. Well, at the time when I was in the Peace Corps and I was in Honduras in 1993, my family would record Canción Mexicana for me on cassette tapes, and they would send them to me when I was in the Peace Corps, and I would listen to it makes me cry, but I would listen to Canción Mexicana, and it was amazing, and it was something that just brought home back to me. But not only that, I shared it with the people that I was living with and working with, and in a small aldea in Honduras, I would play Canción Mexicana, and it was my passport to be able to sit in the front of the trucks when we would have to, hop in the truck and take 4-hour rides to get to the towns and get back to Tegucigalpa and so forth. And it was those tapes that was gold. And I would be like, I've got my tape. And they'd be like, Canción Mexicana. I was like, yes, it is. And so even down in Honduras in 1993, they knew Canción Mexicana. And we would pop it in and we would listen to it the entire time. Those were also the gifts, those cassette tapes were the gifts that I left for the people that I had known and worked with and just dearly loved. And so there are so many ties and connections to KUVO and to Canción Mexicana, but I just wanted to thank you for bringing this forward, Council President, and thank you all for the work that you do every day and how much it touches our heart, my kids' heart, and I know future generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Torres.
Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone here with their connections to KUVO. They're mirrored in my family as well. And my husband's a blues musician, or he fancies himself a blues musician. But he also helped introduce me to the schedule beyond Sunday and all of the jazz and all of the blues and salsa and the global music that I think is provided there, that in some way residents are able to just completely disconnect and travel around the world or reconnect with their own cultural roots. The gospel train, because it comes on right before Canción Mexicana, so I always catch a little bit of that. La Raza Rock, Super Sonido, I love Molly, and Latin Soul Party are among our favorites. So just really appreciate being able to hear some of our community members deliver this incredible music, because it's what connects us all over the city and all over the world. So thank you all so much.
Thank you. Councilmember Parody.
Yeah, so you guys know I'm not a new Denverite, but I'm newer than most of y'all on this dais. But this summer, I have an amazing picture Tim is trying to put it on the screen, of my kids from PBS Kids Fest this summer at the KUVO booth. They were, yeah, I know. They loved it. My brother-in-law is an NPR reporter and host, and so I was sending him the picture. I was in the Clifford line, you know, and they didn't want to leave. They were sitting there for a really long time. So anyway, that's all I got. But I'm happy for them that they get to grow up in a place that has a station like this, because I did not. So thanks, y'all.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, roll call.
Councilmember Sawyer.
Aye.
Alvidrez.
Aye.
Flynn.
Aye.
Gilmore.
Aye.
Hines.
Aye.
Cashman.
Aye.
Lewis.
Aye.
Parity.
Aye.
Romero Campbell.
Aye.
Torres.
Aye.
Watson.
Aye.
Madam President Sandoval.
Aye. Madam Secretary, close the vote and announce the results.
12 ayes.
12 ayes. Proclamation 1243 has been adopted. We now have 5 minutes for the proclamation acceptance, and I'd like to invite all of the members of KUVO to come up here. I don't think you all have to pick, so you all can just come up here and each of you can speak and just introduce yourselves.
On behalf of all of our volunteers and hosts, I thank you for this proclamation.
Yeah.
Is that it? I got a little more. Okay. No, really, all the things you guys said was so beautiful, and it's why we do what we do.
That's right. And I want to thank you all for taking the time to do this. I saw something on a burger bar the other day that really hit home, and it was that we had to create it in order to hear what we weren't hearing. Correct. And what we weren't hearing was the elevation of people of color through the music, through information. And I just want to thank you all for all of the help that your parents probably gave us, because most of you are way too young to have been there at the very, very beginning. But thank your parents, and thank you for continuing with the station.
And just very briefly, I had to get myself together because it's very emotional. I'm VP of Radio, Ayana Contreras, and as you know, we have been having to deal with funding cuts and a whole lot of other things that make our job a little more difficult. But what doesn't make it difficult is the community we serve, and our commitment to that community has been going on 40 years, and God willing, and with the help of all of the folks who are impacted by us, it'll continue another 40. Thank you again so much.
My name is Sarah Newberry. I am a producer at KUVO Rocky Mountain Public Media, and I get to host the high school and collegiate series. And we have state-of-the-art studios, thanks to the support of not only public funding, but our generous donors. And when I get to interact with the kids, and they get to come and play music, and it's on the air, it is unspeakable on how much joy it brings to them. So thank you all so much for this.
Oh.
Thank you all.
And I forgot, I'm so full of myself, I forgot to tell you that I'm Flor Alvidrez Ramos to introduce myself formally. Thank you.
Thank you all.